very nice. Oh, well, very nicely disguised, very well disguised. And that break opportunity raced quickly. Oh, and that starts with the return of serve and another forehand winner, and just like that. Oh, and that ball finds the line. So Wang gets the early break. Break opportunities now for Wang again. Off some break points and oh, what a point from Eala. Outstanding court coverage. No. Good stuff from Wang there. He's had that forehand clicking. Yes, second straight break of serve for Wang. Fifth of the match. Well, she suffered the same fate here. Eala still keeping this set alive. And Wang does capture the second set. Big backhand winner to close it out. So we're going to a third set to decide who reaches the Auckland final. Entertaining tennis here in this semifinal in Auckland. 7-5, 7-5, off to a third. Looking to reach her 24th career final. Oh, lob winner from Wang. Second time we've seen a lob winner from her. Confident, even being up 2 breaks. Oh yes, good stuff from Eala. Maybe that's what she needs to get back in this third set. Tour level final.
Stop what you are doing right now, turn up the volume and listen to my voice incredibly closely, because what I am about to break down for you is the single most explosive, terrifyingly high stakes, and completely swept under the rug psychological bloodbath occurring in the entire world of professional sports today, and the mainstream tennis establishment is absolutely terrified to broadcast the reality of what is about to happen on the red dirt of Rome. We are standing on the precipice of a monumental second-round collision in the 2026 Rome tournament, a gladiatorial death match between Alex Eala and Xinyu Wang, and I am telling you right now with absolute certainty that this is not just a tennis match. This is a bitter, venomous, career-defining vendetta that is going to shake the very foundations of the WTA Tour. The so-called experts, the talking heads on the major sports networks, they want to feed you sanitized, boring statistics. They want to pretend this is just another day at the office, but they are lying to your face because they do not want you to understand the dark, haunting, deeply traumatizing history that is forcing these two warriors onto a violent collision course. Let us strip away the lies and look at the terrifying reality of Xinyu Wang, a player who is currently sitting at number 33 in the world rankings, holding a completely deceiving 15-11 win-loss record for the season. Do not let those mediocre middle-of-the-road numbers fool you for a single second, because her year has been an absolute schizophrenic roller coaster of soaring, unbelievable triumphs and catastrophic mind-numbing failures that point to a player who is on the absolute brink of either total domination or a complete mental collapse. Let us rewind the tape and look at her best result of the year, which was a savage, grueling run to the final in Auckland, where she battled through the trenches only to completely run out of gas and get dismantled by Alina Svitolina in a painful straight sets defeat. But you have to look deeper. You have to look at the terrifying giant slayer potential that Wang possesses deep within her DNA, because just a couple of weeks after that heartbreaking Auckland final, she walked onto the blazing hot hard courts of the Australian Open and absolutely executed world number 13, Linda Noskova, ripping the racket out of her hands and proving to the entire planet that when Wang is locked in, she holds the lethal explosive firepower to obliterate the absolute best players walking the face of the earth. But here is the massive, glaring neon red warning sign that the media is trying to hide from you, the terrifying secret that Eala and her coaching team are currently salivating over behind closed doors. Wang has a devastating critical weakness, a fatal flaw that has been violently exposed in the recent weeks, and that is the catastrophic, soul-crushing clay court curse that is currently eating her alive. Her worst loss of the entire season, a loss so incredibly embarrassing and humiliating that it sent shockwaves through the locker room, happened just last week in the high altitude of Madrid, where she was completely outclassed, outmaneuvered, and utterly destroyed by a player named Samson, a complete unknown who was sitting at a pathetic ranking of 171 in the world. I want you to let that sink into your brain for a minute. A top 35 player in the world, a woman with elite world-class coaching and unlimited resources, stepped onto the red dirt and got humiliated by a player outside the top 150. How does that happen? How does that professional athlete suffer that kind of catastrophic meltdown on the world stage? I will tell you exactly how. It is because clay is not just a surface, it is a living, breathing monster that exposes your deepest insecurities. It strips away your easy power. It forces you to grind until your freaking lungs are bleeding. And right now, Xinyu Wang's form on the dirt is an absolute unmitigated disaster area, with only a measly win or two to her name this entire clay season, leaving her wildly vulnerable, desperate, and completely exposed to a predator who smells blood in the water. And sitting directly across the net from her, waiting in the shadows with a razor-sharp knife, is the ultimate wild card. The most dangerous, volatile, and explosive unseeded threat in the entire draw, the Philippine phenom, Eala, who is currently lurking at number 42 in the world with a 16-11 record. But you have to throw those rankings completely out the window because Eala is a walking, talking anomaly, a player whose ceiling is so terrifyingly high that she is capable of ripping the crown off the head of tennis royalty. Listen to me very, very carefully, because this is the stat that should send a cold shiver down the spine of every single player in the WTA locker room. Eala's greatest triumph this season did not come against some journeyman. It came in the brutal, unforgiving desert heat of Indian Wells, where she stepped onto the court and absolutely dismantled, humiliated, and took the soul of world number 4, Coco Gauff. Do you understand the sheer magnitude of what it takes to beat Coco Gauff at Indian Wells? Gauff is an absolute physical freak, a defensive wall, a superstar with the backing of the entire American tennis machine, and Eala looked her dead in the eyes and completely shattered her aura of invincibility, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Eala has the aggressive baseline weaponry, the heavy topspin, and the ruthless killer instinct to rip the racket out of the hands of the elite. But just like Wang, Eala is haunted by her own dark, embarrassing demons, because for all her giant-slaying brilliance, she is plagued by a terrifying lack of consistency that makes her a massive liability to herself. We saw this horrifying inconsistency at the Australian Open, where she suffered her worst, most agonizing defeat of the year, getting totally outplayed by Alicia Parks, the number 99 in the world at the time. This means that we have two incredibly volatile, explosive, unpredictable athletes stepping onto the court, making this match an absolute powder keg that is guaranteed to detonate in spectacular fashion. But the statistics, the rankings, the previous wins and losses, none of that actually matters compared to the deep, dark, incredibly bitter and painful history that binds these two women together in a web of psychological torture. You have to go back to the start of the year, back to that Auckland tournament to truly understand the sheer hatred and desperation fueling this matchup. They met in the semifinals, and it was an absolute war of attrition, a grueling, agonizing battle that pushed both women to the absolute brink of physical and mental exhaustion. Wang ultimately won the match 5-7, 7-5, 6-4, but what the clean, sanitized history books will absolutely never tell you is the devastating heartbreak and the complete mental collapse that Eala suffered on that court. Listen to me, Eala actually held match points in that semi-final. She had the entire match in the palm of her hand. She could taste the final. She was one single swing of overwhelming firepower, especially on the serve. She has to launch absolute rockets on her first serve, totally overwhelming Eala's return position, because if Wang starts rolling in weak, pathetic second serves, Eala is going to step in and decapitate the ball, punishing Wang for every single ounce of hesitation. But the reality is, playing hyper-aggressive tennis on the slow, heavy clay of Rome is incredibly difficult. It requires a level of supreme confidence and flawless footwork that Wang simply does not possess right now, making her game plan incredibly fragile and prone to a total catastrophic breakdown at the first sign of real adversity. On the other side of the absolute war zone, if Eala wants to finally execute her revenge and bury Wang in the red dirt, she has to completely master her own mind. She has to block out the traumatic memories of Auckland, and she has to transform herself into an absolute clay court grinder. The key to Eala winning this match is supreme, suffocating patience. She cannot rush, she cannot panic, she has to be willing to hit 10, 15, 20 heavy topspin balls in a single rally, relentlessly testing Wang's fragile lungs and questionable footwork. Eala was actually playing some brilliant tactical clay court tennis against Magdalena Frech recently, winning a massive first set by grinding her opponent into the dirt before running into a wall of unforced errors, so we know for an absolute fact that she has the tactical footwork. Eala needs to use incredibly heavy thigh-bouncing topspin to push Wang out of her comfort zone, forcing Wang to generate her own pace from awkward, uncomfortable positions high above her shoulders. And when Wang inevitably loses her patience, when the frustration boils over and Wang drops a ball short, Eala has to explode into the court and finish the point with absolute merciless authority. Eala also got a very solid confidence-boosting win in Madrid before eventually falling to a seasoned veteran like Mertens, which completely proves that Eala is finding her footing on the clay. She is adapting her massive hard-court weapons to the dirt, and she is arriving in Rome with a dangerous, lethal level of self-belief that Wang is completely lacking. This matchup is an absolute gift from the tennis gods. It is the perfect storm of conflicting styles, shattered confidence, giant-slaying pedigree, and an incredibly toxic revenge-fueled narrative that is going to explode the moment the umpire calls time. Wang is a player desperately frantically searching for any shred of confidence after suffering the most humiliating loss of her season to a player ranked outside the top 150, while Eala is a player who knows deep down in her soul that she already beat Wang in Auckland, that she had the match points, that she is the superior athlete who simply let her nerves get the better of her. This dynamic completely shifts the psychological pressure onto Wang because Wang knows that Eala is coming for her head. Wang knows that her own clay court game is completely falling apart, and Wang knows that if she shows even a single ounce of weakness, Eala is going to tear her apart in front of the entire world. When you take all of this massive, overwhelming evidence into account, when you look at the Coco Gauff victory, when you look at the devastating Auckland choke, and when you look at Wang's complete inability to function on a clay court over the last month, the undeniable truth becomes absolutely crystal clear. I am completely ignoring the rankings, I am ignoring the establishment narrative, and I am putting my absolute faith in the power of pure, unadulterated revenge. I am predicting that Eala is going to step onto that court with an absolute fire burning in her eyes. She is going to drag Xinyu into the deep dark trenches of a brutal, agonizing, lung-busting 3-set war, and when the pressure reaches its absolute boiling point in the final set, it will be Wang who completely crumbles under the weight of her own insecurities. Eala will not choke this time. She will not hesitate. She will step up, bury the ghost of Auckland once and for all, and secure one of the most emotional, dramatic, and satisfying revenge victories of the entire 2026 season. You are about to witness an absolute masterclass in psychological warfare. You are about to see what happens when a player refuses to be defined by their past failures, and you are about to watch Eala completely shatter Xinyu Wang's spirit on the biggest stage imaginable. So lock in, prepare yourselves for an absolute bloodbath, and do not blink for a single second, because this is going to be legendary.